Hi everyone, this is Jan, and today we are going to take a look at this Meeden oil painting set that I just got this morning. So I love getting packages, and it's like an early Christmas present. And I'm going to show you all the little things that are in this big kit. It's really a nice kit. They have it on sale now. I think it's around $54. I get it on Amazon. And what you're going to get in this kit is you're going to get a tabletop easel, 24 oil paints, an oil paint brush set, disposable palette pad, one canvas pad, a wooden palette, 2 palette knives, 1 canvas, and some panel sets to paint on. Now the only thing that you're going to need if you get this kit is you are going to need some odorless thinner, and I just bought regular thinner. Let me pull this like this. And I just bought a little jar here. It has a screen on it. You can see the little screen right there. And I just poured it in the jar, and it has a lid that goes on it, so you don't have any kind of fumes or anything. Also, you might want to pick you up some what is called linseed oil. That's the medium that you use when you want to thin your oil paints out a little bit with. And the odorless thinner, make sure you get odorless, is to clean your brushes with. Now remember, you get a big set of 10 brushes with this, and they are a really nice set of brushes. In fact, I can show you right here while I have this out. There's your brushes. We're going to give these a try. They're a synthetic brush. That's what they are. You get liners, you get a fan brush. This is a bigger brush. Of course, they have sizing on them right now, so they look a little different, but whenever you start painting with them, I'll show you whenever I start painting with them. So you get everything you need. Just get you some odorless thinner. Get you a little jar of linseed oil. That will be for your medium. And you will be ready to paint with this Meeden oil painting kit. And what a great gift for someone who wants to learn how to paint. So I'll be demoing this today, and we're going to be doing some roses using these oil paints. Remember, you get 24 oil paints, and they're all these beautiful colors, so we'll be using those today. Okay, I'm going to get all set up, and I will see you in a few, and we will get started on this painting. See you later. Okay, we're back, and the next thing I want to do is show you how to prep your canvas. I am using an economy canvas that you get at the craft stores, and a lot of times those canvases are buckled in the corners. The canvas is kind of wonky, and what I do is I use a spray bottle of water, and I take and I spray paint the front, or squirt the front of it with the water, and then take my hand and rub it all over the canvas. The canvas is a fabric type with gesso, so that it will soak in. Then I flip it over, and I go ahead and I spray in the corners. I do the same thing. Then I go ahead and work that water into the canvas. Then I go take my hairdryer and I dry the canvas on the front and on the back. Now if I'm working in acrylics, I don't need to do that, but being I'm in oil and water don't mix. So I went ahead and dried the canvas. And as you can see, it's nice and tight. So we can go ahead and start base coating our canvas. Now the next thing I did was I use a fine grit sandpaper. This is 150. And I took and I went this direction, then I went this direction, and I just took a paper towel and wiped all that dust off. What you want to do is you want to sand your canvas down, because these economy canvases are really rough. They will eat your brushes up in a hurry. So I've always done that in painting, whether I'm painting in oils or acrylics. So once I have that done, and the canvas is smooth, then I go ahead and I use acrylics to go ahead and put a base coat on. This I just used a little bit of gray and a little bit of aqua color so that it's just a light color and it's a base coat. You go ahead and it will coat your canvas so that you have a surface to work on that's nice and smooth. And you can just squirt some paint onto your canvas and use just a regular foam brush and put it on. It doesn't have to be coated real well. You can see it's just different variations. Also, you'll want to turn it and you will want to do all of the edges. And once you do that, then go ahead and let it dry. And then we will go ahead and take some chalk, if you have a chalk pencil or if you have school chalk, you can use that. I have some school chalk here, and I will just make some little circles here where I want to place those roses, so I can start with the background on here. Don't necessarily want oil paint in where the flowers are going to be. So get your school chalk out, get this all prepped up, ready to paint on, and we'll paint our 3 circles and we'll start painting on this. Can't wait. So I have all these beautiful colors of oil paints out here that came in the kit. And whenever you put these out on your disposable palette, this is a waxed palette, which means that once you're finished with this, you can just go ahead and throw this away. It's a disposable palette. It's not meant to keep out all the time. So what I want to do is, when I'm doing this painting, I'm going to start with my greens. And I can see here I have some sap green. So I'm just going to take that out, take the top off. And I just want to put a little bit of sap green out. And a little bit means maybe like that. Not very much. Also, in using sap green, I might like it a little bit deeper in color. I am going to take out, you can take out Prussian blue or ultramarine blue. I'm going to take out some ultramarine blue. I am going to lay some of that out. I'm just getting colors out that I would use in my background, and I've got leaves, and I will use some white. Here's the white up here. Put some of the white out. I'm going to put some of the white out over here. Let's space it out a little bit. So I'm going to use more white. The white is a little firmer. And I'm going to go ahead and get out a little bit of this gray color here. Beautiful, beautiful colors. Can't wait to dig into these. Okay, here's a little bit of gray. Alright, and that's all you're going to need there. Also, I do have the brushes out here. Now, the brushes will have sizing in them. So what you'll have to do is take your hand and you will have to bend them to the point to where you get that sizing out, because they're going to be very, very stiff from the sizing. Now I can tell that these brushes are a synthetic, and they're really a stiff type of brush, almost like a bristle type brush. You can tell whenever I go like this, if I was going to do the background, your brush strokes would be rough. In other words, it's not going to be a real soft stroke. It's going to be a real rough, choppy stroke, because that's just the way that the hair on these bristles are, which is great for the background. But you could lay in your background with these, but then you would want a softer brush if you wanted a softer look for the background. Then you could come and use a different type of brush. Now, one of my favorite brushes is the Bob Ross brushes, the Mongoose natural hair brushes. And you can really tell the difference, when you feel of them. These are very soft, not flimsy soft, but soft enough to where when you come back over those strokes that you lay down first, then it will soften all the paint and the brush strokes out, to where it just leaves a really nice finish on your background. Now, if you want to use brushes, use these to put your color on first, and then you can come back over with a softer brush and soften that down. You can also use like a mop type brush to soften once you come back over. You can also use the bristle brushes, and this is kind of like what these are here. These feel a little bit stiffer than the hog hair brushes. Okay, so that's your different options. But if you're a beginner, go ahead and use what's in your kit. And then as you grow as a painter, then you can go ahead and get some of these nicer brushes you might find will work a little bit better for you. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get started on our canvas. I have already put on a pattern for this little 10 by 10 canvas, and you can watch some of my other videos and you can see how to do this little teacup rose for your outline, and I have just used some school chalk for that, so that I have a pattern of where I'm going. This will just come off once I start painting around it, but I want to know where I want my greens. All of this is going to be all background. I'm going to chop in different colors. Remember, oils stay wet for days and weeks, so they're not like acrylic. They don't just dry within 5 minutes or whatever. So you can piddle with oils. You can start on it and you can come back to it 2 days later, and everything is still going to be nice and wet for you, and you can just continue on with your blending. It's one of the reasons why I really love working with oils is due to that. You don't have to hurry. You don't have to worry about everything drying up on you really fast. So we're just going to take our time on this little painting. It might take us 3 or 4 days of piddling with it to finish it out, and that's fine with me. I enjoy the process of just painting, and I don't necessarily like to sit down and take 2 hours and complete a painting. I go in stages. I might paint 30 minutes. I might paint an hour. Most of my time for painting is in short sessions. It's not in long sessions, because I like to sit and look at it and think, okay, now what do I want to do with it? Which direction do I want to go in it? And I just enjoy the process of painting and piddling with the different colors and everything. And as you can see, look at all the beautiful colors you have here that I can, once I get this background started, I can go ahead and blend all these beautiful colors in the background before I even start with these roses. And that's the process that I like, is the piddling and the blending and everything that you get with all these colors. I like doing the process. It's very relaxing to me. I'm not the kind of painter who wants to zip a painting in 30 minutes or something. It's very stressful for me to have to paint like that. So oils is a good thing if you want to just take your time at it. The only thing you have to consider is, being the painting is wet for a long period of time, you actually need somewhere to put this painting. I used to hang it on the wall while I was still working on it, because you don't want your kids or your cat or your dog or anything like that to get up on the table and do paw prints across your painting and then track it everywhere, because this oil will get everywhere. So you have to respect it and have to put it somewhere where nobody's going to get into it. So I have a floor easel right over here by my table here, and I put it up on top of there so that it's not going to get ruined or anything while it is still wet. So with that in mind, I will go ahead and get this area ready to paint, and we'll come back and we're going to start on our green in here for our leaves, and we'll go ahead and start this canvas. Okay, can't wait. See you in just a few. Okay, everyone. So I'm going to start applying some color onto the dry canvas here. And I'm going to be using some of the white here. And I've got one of the brushes that came in the kit. And when I pick up my paint, I pick it up on the outside edge here. I don't go into the pile of paint and pick up a big old glob. I take some of it and I pull it out. I did not dip this brush in anything before I used it. It's just straight out of the box here after I fluffed it up a little bit. See, I don't have very much paint on there. What I want to do is work this paint into the canvas. So I'm actually going to be scrubbing using this brush. Now it makes a lot of noise, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I'm going to do, and then I'll go ahead and scrub it in, because I don't think I can talk over the scrubbing motion of this, because it's pretty loud when I'm doing this. But I'm going to put the color down. See how I have the color on the brush? And what I'll do is take this color here, and I'll actually scrub it and work it into the canvas here. I'm actually moving this around on the dry canvas. Now I'm staying out of this area. I want greens in here, but out here I want a white color so I can work in the green. So when I pick up another bit of paint, I'm pulling the paint out from on the bottom here. And again, I will lay the paint on the canvas, and then I'll take the brush, and I'm scrubbing actually in circles, small little circles, and I'm working that paint and I'm moving it around on this dry canvas. And it's okay to have this different tones in here, and that's just from scrubbing on the canvas there. Now see, over in here, I want a little lighter. I want the greens mostly there. But I'm using very small amount of paint. And what you're trying to do is to work this paint into the canvas, but you want a really thin coat of paint. It's not the same as working with landscapes. I want this really, really thin. I don't want it thick at all, because when I come back to layer colors, I want it thin enough to where I can go ahead and put other colors on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to add some of this white color. You can see it almost looks little bits of gray because the thinner areas of the paint, the undercoating under there, see, it makes it look almost like a gray tone. That's why I like to base coat the color under there, because you get all these wonderful little tones under there that you wouldn't get if you were just on a white canvas. So I'm going to have greens in here, and I will have greens down in here, and little greens in here. Most of this out here is going to be a lot of this white color so that I can mix other colors in it. So I'm going to continue doing this, and what I'll do is I'll go ahead and continue doing the white area all around here, and when I come back I'll show you how to blend in some of those greens with it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this with the white color, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll start adding another color. Okay, see you in a few. So I have all the white color on the canvas that I'm going to need for the time being. And as you can see, it's kind of mottled. I think it's what they call it, mottled color. You have light areas, dark areas. I have a paper towel here, and I use these shop towels because they're thicker, and with oil you really need a thicker towel, not one that's just going to bleed right through. And what I do is I take my towel, lay my brush down like that, and I take it and I just pinch it like that, and that gets a lot of the paint off. I do a lot of dirty brushing, which means I keep my brush out of thinner as much as I can, because I don't want it in the bristles of the brush. So whenever I'm changing color, most of the time I'll just wipe it like that on a paper towel. Also, you'll notice you'll have, these are new brushes, so a lot of times they will shed a lot, and I can see little hairs, and you just take the very corner of your brush and pick it up like that, and just flip those little brush hairs off of your canvas, because anything new like that on brush sets, they pretty much shed all the time when you first start these painting with them. So that's how you're going to get rid of that. Also, when you have your paper towels, once you're finished with this paper towel, using it, what you'll want to do, is to go ahead and don't press too hard. So my brush came off. Okay, so what you'll want to do is you'll take this and you'll fold it up, and then I have a little trash deal here, and I put that in the trash deal. What you don't want to do is to leave these out, because the oil will stay on the cloths, and if your animals get up on your table or anything, then they'll walk right through it. So you just have to be really aware of when you work with oils, because it's just not like acrylic. It's just not going to dry. It's going to stay wet for days. So you want to make sure you keep your paints, your palette, your rags. Remember, these could be flammable. So you want to make sure that you take caution and dispose of things like you're supposed to. But we have gotten all of the white on that I want, and what I will do is when I want to go to another color, again, I just go like this and wipe it off, and then I will pick up like some of the green here, just like we picked it up, like that. And when I come into this green color here, I've got to hold this canvas or it's going to move around on me. I start with the dark colors first, and I work dark, medium, and light. Now to me, this isn't going to be dark enough, so I'm going to pick up a little bit of this blue. That's why I put the blue in there, a little bit. I take that blue, and I put it right on the base. What I want is the dark is going to be on the deepest indent of where your flower is. Now see, that's still not deep enough for me. I might have to go to some Prussian blue in order to get that deep enough. But the blue with the green will make this a deeper color. Okay, and when I start adding the green, then I'm going to wipe my brush, just go like this, and then go the other side. And what I'll start to do is to work this green into the white. In other words, I'm going to be walking this color into the white because the white is wet. So I can do that. Now I can go ahead and pick up a little more white, and I can roll some of that white in here so that it remains soft. But what I don't want to do is take a lot of this color way back here and lose all my darks. So I'm trying to get 3 different tones here. Now this is going to be a petal that comes out here, so I'm going to work all of these colors to the point to where they all just softly blend. See, and I want it to kind of look like a little bit of foliage just rolling out there. And as I'm looking at this, I'm probably going to want this to be even darker. Then I can pick up a little bit of that Prussian blue instead of the ultramarine blue, and I can deepen that up. But I want to keep this color thin when I do that, so that's why I'm still scrubbing it into the canvas. And you can see how I'm just walking this color out into the backdrop. I want it to kind of look like some foliage out there, you know, some filler foliage. And see how it comes up with different tones in there? That's what you want. But if I would have added this real thick to begin with, then I wouldn't be able to scrub this and work it around to where I get all these yummy colors in here. It would be way too thick, and it wouldn't blend. It would just, the color would just end up laying on top of the other color, and I couldn't blend. So we're pretty much dry brush blending with this. Here's what we're doing. See, once I get to the edge of where the white is, now with this green, then I start trying to work that color, and I may even have to wipe some of that off. See how I wipe some of that color off? Because then I'm coming back and I'm just working it into the white area. I'm feathering out those edges. what I like about oils. You can feather out the edges so you don't have any hard edges on there. And if I need to pick up some more white, I can pick up a little bit of more white, and I can work it back into the green. You know, if my canvas is, I feel it's a little bit too dry, then I can work it back into the canvas. Now I have a little gray here. Let me pick up a little of this gray. Now see if I add a little gray over in here. See how a little gray? Now just plot it like that. And you can work some of that gray in there. But see how you can just maneuver and work some of these other colors in there. That's what I like about oils. It's fun just to maneuver these colors around. Now once I get some of these colors for the roses, now see I'm just adding little bits of color here and there so it looks like some foliage out there. You know, maybe there's some leaves and different things, and I'll get it a little more refined here, but what I'm doing is I'm just sort of getting a base tone going and getting an idea of what I want out here. See how I worked this color into the white. Don't want that hard edge there though. And you just blend out your hard edges. Just keep your paint thin. Now, as I'm looking at that, okay, if it gets too stringy, take your brush and go back and forth like that. There we go. And then that takes away any kind of a line or a hard edge. Again, add more white if you want to. And a little more white in here. It's almost like working with clouds, kind of. That's what I think of it as. So you just maneuver some of these colors in here. That's the fun part of it. That's what I like to do, is intermingle all these pretty colors in here. You can just have a lot of fun playing with color in here before you start coming over and actually forming the leaves and stuff. You can get all of these pretty blends of color in here before you even start doing your leaves and different things. Alright, so we've worked some color in there, and we can come back and add different colors of greens and that sort of thing. I want to try out some of these other colors, but what I have here is I've got all my colors on here that are intermingled. I've got a base tone on here to start with, so that I can go ahead and refine it more with the leaves and different things. But I have the background real choppy. I love the choppy look that you can get through the scrubbing, and that's a good base to start with, so that when I come back to this, see, it's not so wet that I can't come back and work with this. In fact, I don't even get any paint hardly on my finger at all. A little bit, not very much, and that's what you want. Don't want that real thick. You want it dry and scrubbed into that canvas. Okay, everyone, what I will do is go ahead and continue. I can continue to use this brush, or if I'm finished with this brush, I can go ahead and clean it in my thinner, and I will just take the top off of this thinner, and I will just open it up. It has a screen. Let me show you what I have here. Okay, here's my jar, here's my screen, and I don't know if I'm quite finished using this brush, but when I'm finished with it, then I just come back and I scrape it on that screen, and then I blot it on the paper towel, and then I go ahead and put the towel in my little garbage bag here, and then I would get another fresh towel out. So just see if you're finished using this. I might want to piddle with this a little bit more. That's what you're going to do, and keep the lid back on this, because the odorless thinner, it is odorless, but it will still have a little bit of an odor to it, and you don't want to be breathing in those odors. But if you don't have odorless thinner, let me tell you, it'll run you out of the house. So make sure you have odorless thinner. Okay, get your background at least to this level, and I will go ahead and intermingle some other colors, and we'll come back and we'll just start laying in some of these leaves and things on here. We'll get a little further on this. Okay, see you in a few.